Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tucker, and in today's video, we're continuing our NBA position ranking series, where I'm going to go through every single position in the NBA and rank every single starting caliber player or starter for each individual team, from superstar to star, above average starter, below average starter, role player, and bum. I made these categories on the left. I did not put these players at the bottom of the screen here. So if you have an issue with who is or is not starting, or what position these players are playing, then I didn't have anything to do with that. So next up, come on, Tuck. First up, we have LaMarcus Aldridge. I don't think LaMarcus Aldridge is a star player anymore. I'm going to go above average starter with the understanding that I might catch a little bit of heat here. I also don't know why all these look like senior graduation pictures for all these players, but I'm going to put LaMarcus Aldridge in that above average starter category. Can still score in the post or in the mid-range. I just don't think he has that star potential, that star upside game to game anymore. So that's why he's going to go there. Next up, PJ Tucker. I'm going to go above average starter. If there was just a starter category, I would put him in that category, but he's closer to above average than below average, so he's going to go there for me. Next up, Paul Millsap, I think is a below average starter at this point. As much as I want Paul Millsap to be good, just because I think we kind of lost players like that, players that play the way he does, that are, good quote unquote role players at every skill at the 4 spot. I think that is great versatility to bring to the game, but just in terms of his production, I think he's kind of in that below average starter group for me. Next up, KD is in the superstar category. You can argue that if you want to because of the injury stuff, but the last time that we saw Kevin Durant fully healthy in Golden State, he was a top 2, top 3 player in the entire league, and I know that the injury stuff could change that, but I haven't seen evidence to this point to change my mind on that. He's a superstar for me. Next up, Kevin Love. I'm going to go above average starter, but maybe by the end of the year, if Kevin Love looks really, really old and continues to get hurt, he gets moved down here. But for me personally, I'm going to go above average starter. This is a really tough position to rank. Next up, Blake Griffin. Man, this position is just filled with like older guys that are aging, getting hurt. I think I have to put Blake here, but I do that with the understanding that he could very easily play like 5 games this year, and then he's going down here, and then here, and then here, and then here. But I think just because the last time we saw Blake, he was 3rd-team All-NBA in terms of the last time we saw him fully healthy. He could be really good this year, but the health scares me. But I'm gonna put him in the star category. Next up, we have Marcus Morris. I'm going to go above average starter. I know I said some things about the contract that he signed, but as a player, Marcus Morris is still a good player. He's someone that can defend and can shoot for you. Maybe hijacks the offense a little bit too much at times, but still a good complementary role player there on the wing. Next up, Tobias Harris is going to similarly go in that above average starter category. If you want to make a case for him to be a star, I'm not going to listen to that case. He is being paid like a star, but he simply isn't one. Maybe he hasn't been in ideal situations at times in Philly, and I would listen to that argument. But for right now, I'm going to put Tobias Harris solidly in that above average starter category. Next up now, Bogdanovich. I'm going to go above average starter as well. Can shoot and can play make, provides an interesting game at this position, but he's certainly not an all-star caliber guy, and he's not below average either, so this is kind of exactly where he belongs. Next up, is this Myers Leonard? I feel like this is Myers Leonard. If that's the case, he's going to be a role player, a guy that started at times for Miami during the regular season. Once he got in the postseason, though, he didn't play at all, and so for me, that puts him in that role player category. Next up, Anthony Davis is a superstar. It's not close. I'm not having any other conversation about Anthony Davis. He could be the MVP of the league this year. He needs to go in that superstar category. Next up, Draymond. I'm going to go above average starter, but if he's bad this year, if he continues to get hurt, maybe he goes down here. I think some people might try and make the case of him being a star, but I'm not there with Draymond. Really, really good complementary player, but I'm going to go above average here for Draymond. Next up, Jay Crowder. Man, if I have PJ Tucker in above average, I feel like I have to have Jay Crowder in above average as well. But then, okay, I'm going to make a late adjustment. I'm going to put PJ Tucker down here, and I'm going to put Jay Crowder there. Because I think every single player here is a bit above these 3 guys. And that's just as I'm looking at the rankings as a whole, I feel good about that. I feel good about that ranking right there. Next up, Giannis. Let me think about that. Yeah, there's nothing to think about. Giannis is a superstar. I don't think we need to even have a conversation about that. Robert Covington. Oh man, they're really making it difficult here with these like complimentary 3-and-D guys, aren't they? man, I feel like I'm messing this up now because like PJ Tucker, Jay Crowder, Robert Covington, where do we go with all this? I think Covington's better than these two guys enough to be in this category. I don't feel great about the rankings of either of these three guys, but I'm cool with that. I'm cool with having Covington a tier above those guys. Aaron Gordon, I'm going to go above average starter with the opportunity to maybe go down here if he has a bad year, but I think he's in that average category and he's closer to being up than down. So I'm going to go with Aaron Gordon in that above average starting category. Next up, Julius Randle. I'm going to do the same thing, but again, if he has a bad year, if he's hurt, I could easily see him going down a tier and I wouldn't feel bad about it at all. Next up, Porzingis. I'm going to go star because I think when healthy, Kristaps Porzingis is an all-star caliber player. Now, if you want to make the argument that he's not on the floor enough or that he isn't as effective as you'd want him to be or that he's in a really good situation in Dallas and so he's getting like spoon-fed points, that's a conversation that we can have. But when you're talking about a consistent all-star level guy when he's healthy, maybe it could be an all-NBA caliber guy this year for all we know, I think Porzingis goes in the star category. This is the one that I knew I was going to really struggle with because Domantas Sabonis is a really good player, made an all-star team, but am I willing to put him in the star category? I think I am, but like he's pretty close to being down here. Congrats on making an all-star team, but he's definitely close to being in that above average starter group. Who is this? Am I supposed to know who this is? I'm really confused. Am I just completely blanking on somebody? It doesn't help that these pictures are like high school graduation pictures. I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to, and I'm just completely blanking. I really do not know who that is. I'm going to put him in the role player category. I apologize. Next up, Siakam. He's going to go in the star category. Can be an all-NBA caliber guy at times. Really good player, great production, provides tons of versatility at that spot. I think he's a star. Next up, Jason Tatum. So when you think about it and you look at this group in this star category, does Tatum belong more in that group or more in this group? I'm going to put Jason Tatum in the star category, but if you want to have a conversation about putting him up here, I'm willing to listen to it. And I know that there's some people who are going to say, well, if you're going to put him up there, then Siakam needs to be there, and we need to have a conversation about Blake as well. I think in the future, when I rank these videos, Tatum's going to be up here, but for right now, I'm not quite ready to go there. He's going to go in the star category. Next up, Lauri Markkanen. I think I got to go here right now, honestly. Just coming off the year that he just had, I know that we can blame everything on Jim Boylen if we want to, and that's really fun. But I think he kind of has to go in the below average starter category for right now, just based off what he's done to this point in his career. Next up now, John Collins. Oh my goodness gracious, they're really trying to make these rankings difficult. People are going to get so mad if I don't put him in the star category, but I'm going to go above average. I think he's a really good player. I love the production. He's just not a star. He's just not a star to me. He's not someone that I'm thinking about him competing for an all-star spot. He's going to go above average for me, and then moving forward, we'll figure it out. Next up, Jaren Jackson. I'm going to do the same thing. I think he's a player that can improve defensively, but still does some really good things, rim protection-wise or otherwise. Brings great shooting and spacing to the front court. Has a ton of potential moving forward if he can just stay on the floor and not foul everybody all the time. I think he's in that above average category. Next up, Marvin Bagley. He kind of has to go right here. But if we ever see fully healthy Marvin Bagley, I think he could pretty easily, honestly, be all the way up here if we ever get to see him fully healthy and he fulfills the potential that he has. But given what we've seen at this point in his career, kind of has to be in the below average category. Next up now, Rui Hachimura. I really like Rui, I do. But I'm going to go here with the opportunity for him to move up this year, depending on the season that he does have. Like him as a player, I think he's solid. I think he can score in the mid-range. He's working on his jump shot. Continues to work on just being a better perimeter player. But I'm going to go below average starter for right now. This is somebody. I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to come back. This is Darius Bazley. He's a role player for me. I'm really not going to be able to remember who this guy is, am I? The pictures are really throwing me off, man. Like the face looks familiar, and I don't even know which team he is because there's no jerseys or anything. I don't know. I think we're just not going to rank him. Next up, Zion. Is he an above average starter or is he a star? Given some of the things that he's done at times last year when healthy, he looked like a star. But I'm going above average with the opportunity for him to go here maybe even here, depending on how good and how healthy he is this year. But for me, I can't go higher than this for Zion. I think he kind of has to go in that star category. But that is going to be the end of these power forward, or these 4 rankings, with one more to go tomorrow. I hope you guys have been enjoying this series. It's been super fun to kind of evaluate so many different players in the league and really kind of see where I'm at with each one of these guys. And I know you guys are going to have a ton of opinions on this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what those all are down in the comment section below. But with all those things said, thank you guys very much for watching. Once again, my name is Tucker. If you missed any of my previous videos, then be sure to check out the boxes on screen. Thanks again. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.